Hello. How's it going? My name's Mandy. I teach people how to kiss keto. Keep it super simple. I'm coming to you live tonight from Myrtle Beach. Drop a number 1 in the comments below if you are catching me on the live. Drop a number 2 in the comments below if you're catching me on the replay. I am talking to you guys. This question, the dog got in some Kerrygold today, and he's on notice right now. Anyway, so a lot of people always talk and a lot of people slide into my DMs and always ask or post in our keto club. And if you're not in our keto club, drop keto club in the comments. We will get you in there. Free group, 25,000 people, all engaged, super. Just love on everybody, and it's just a really awesome community. So a lot of people post in there. Hi Peg, hi guys, how's it going? And if you ever get value out of this, please definitely share, tag a friend, those types of fun things. Spread the love on the ketogenic lifestyle. So here's the deal. A lot of people always slide into the DMs or post on Facebook, is the ketogenic diet safe? Or is the ketogenic diet safe for XYZ? How many of you guys gotten some flack since then, right? Like since you guys started, or if you've just recently oh, I think I'm going to do the keto diet, and somebody just annihilates you on oh, you can't do that, it's not safe, right? It's happened to me a million times because it's obviously my profession, but so many people just hear or stop the keto diet because they have had friends that tell them otherwise. So I'm going to bust some myths tonight, and it's, we're going to talk about it, and I have some bullet points here for you, and then if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. First and foremost, the ketogenic diet has been researched since the 1920s. It was actually designed for kids who were not responding to seizures, or the kids that have epilepsy were having epileptic seizures, and they weren't responding to their medications. So researchers at that time figured out if they put them on a high fat, low carb, moderate protein diet, they would produce ketones, which is another fuel source. When you have epileptic seizures, it's usually because you cannot take a fuel source, glucose, into the brain. So your body needs ketones to run, and your brain will prefer ketones. So the studies and everything like that have been studied and implemented since the 1920s. And yeah, Bobby asked a great question. I need to watch my cholesterol. I will cover that in a second. I just tend to get very distracted, so I want to stay focused. So research since the 1920s, wow, talking today is hard. Implemented for children who have epileptic seizure issues, right? And the reason why it's so high fat is because kids at that age need to have energy and calories to run on, right? So it's high fat research since the 1920s. And then we get into later down the line where this mass hysteria of, oh my God, fat is bad. But what happened is there was a man called Ansel Keys who did this crazy study on carbs and fat and this world study, right? Well, he left out a lot of data points, and we're finding out now that he was lying. And he pitched this, oh my God, fat is bad, to basically the world, and the world believed him, but he actually left out a lot of information. He left out a lot of countries. He just manipulated the data. And if you guys think, studies that come out now, follow the money, follow the research, follow where these things are. The craziest thing that has come out recently is keto crotch, guys. If you think about that, that's not accurate. Who funded this study on keto crotch, okay? So anytime that you're confused or things like that, think back into nature. And I'll go into that point again, but I wanted to finish my thought on the fat. So this whole thing, fat is bad for you, right? Well, actually, fat and carbohydrates are bad for you. So the reason why most Americans or most of the world is sick and have high cholesterol is because they are having tons of carbohydrates and fat. So cholesterol goes up, but you shouldn't really, like, if you're doing the ketogenic diet, your cholesterol is going to change. I'm trying to, my husband has all normal levels. He has never had all normal levels, and he is even a runner. And that is, Bobby, or Denise is replying to Bobby and saying about high cholesterol. So yes, gluten-free is great, but it's a lot of the gluten-free stuff's made with corn. It's made with rice. It's, these things are not good for you digestive-wise. Joe! Hey, this is what life is, right? So high fat's not bad. It's just a situation, high fat is not bad, but when you pair it with carbs, it's bad, okay? So make sure that you are eating healthy, normal fats. And what also, too, you need to watch your fat intake of, like, what kind of fats you're having. So if you're having butter, totally normal fat. If you're having olive oil, normal healthy fats. Like, these are healthy oils and healthy fats that your body will love. But if you're eating and consuming tons of dressings with sunflower oil or vegetable oil or canola oil, those are issues. Those are inflammatory things. Those are cause heart disease and things like that. So the research since 1920s, we've been lied to from mass hysteria on fat is bad. And then a lot of the science that's coming out now hasn't caught up. So when you go to a doctor, right? Like, you assume that they, like, know everything because they're medically trained, right? But if you think back, like, people aren't being trained and educated, and, like, does your doctor read their latest studies? Does your doctor read and stay up on recent things, or does he go about his day and stay stuck in his own way of life? You know what I mean? So just remember, like, find a doctor that's on board with you if this is something that you really feel is good. But overall, the ketogenic diet, since it's been researched since the 1920s, we've been lied to about fat and carbohydrates. A lot of doctors are not educated. But regardless of all of that, if you think back to nature, right? So what did we eat back in nature, right? Nature as in, like, caveman days, when we hunted, when we fished, when we had season, when we did seasonal stuff. We couldn't go to the grocery store to just pick up whatever we wanted anytime. Think back to nature. What did we consume? Meat, vegetables, seasonal fruit, and a lot of the fat that we consumed back then was all animal fat. So we consumed a diet of meat, vegetables, and fruits, but seasonal fruits. And we also went through periods of intermittent fasting because we went through periods of feast or famine. Think back into nature when there was when you had to, like, hide in a cave during the winter because there was no food, and you fasted until you could go hunt again and find more food. Our bodies are designed to have this stuff happen to us, but we are so concerned and ingrained with, well, this diet's this right, or this diet's this right, or, like, I need carbohydrates. Well, no, our bodies genetically, from evolution, since we've been created, eat meat and veggies and seasonal fruit, but we eat too much fruit when we're trying to be healthy. We eat fruit and fruit and fruit and fruit, but it's sugar all of the time, breaks down. But if you stick to a diet, a well-formulated diet of meat, veggies, and healthy fats, and then limited fruit, and then you move your body like how we're designed, you're going to have success, and there's absolutely nothing at all to be concerned about. And what I'm talking about is well-formulated keto. So do what's best for you. I think that is very, very important. Until yesterday, until I was doing, watching more calories and, like, having more carbs, and, like, I don't eat a lot of junk food overall, but, like, I was eating, pasta here and there and whatever, just because my body composition goals are different than a lot of other people's. So I go off track. I eat 90% keto, but starting tomorrow, I'm doing super strict keto because my body just feels better functionality wise on a meat veggie diet, and 100% of people will feel better on a diet from meat, veggies, and healthy fats, because that's how we're designed to eat. But from an overall lifestyle standpoint, I was just living a lifestyle of like having carbs here and there. But like from a medicine standpoint, I need to, or like a health standpoint, I need to like do this for myself. But what I'm saying for you guys is understanding that a well-formulated keto diet, and a lot of what keto is promoted, like I've seen Guru Guy talk about like how you can have diet soda on keto because it's dirty keto, or people think that Powerade Zero is great on a ketogenic diet because it's 0, 0, 0, or like people living off of ton of sugar-free foods and a lot of dairy, and they're not seeing the results, and they're not seeing the changes and like the energy increases and things like that because they're eating a keto diet by the numbers, because they're eating 0 carbs and 0 sugars, but they're eating dirty keto full of chemicals, causes gut issues. You know, having these things like substitutes for the bad foods, like a cauliflower pizza full of chemicals in the cauliflower crust, and it's slapped keto, like that's not a well-formulated ketogenic diet. And that's where the diet gets a bad rap, because there's functions and issues that like dysfunctions and issues that happen. But if you're eating meat, veggies, healthy fats, you're moving your body, you're hydrating, you're getting good sleep, you're keeping your stress low, you're gonna see success. And there's nothing wrong, there's nothing unsafe, and there's nothing to worry about when you're eating the way your body's genetically designed to eat. So hopefully I brought you guys some value. Does anyone have any questions before I pop off? I kind of just wanted to toss it back to you. But don't worry about your cholesterol. Make sure you're having a well-formulated diet. It's hard to stick to. And if you want the tools in my toolbox that I use, the technology that I use to ensure that I am remaining in a ketogenic state regardless of what I'm doing or eating that day, that is great. Looking good, Mandy. Show us the guns. Yeah, they're coming along. They're going to be better once I get my nutrition on point, because working out without the nutrition is, you know, you can't exercise away a bad diet. And I just really want abs, and I really want guns, and I really want to be the best possible version of myself. And I want to inspire you to be the best versions of yourselves. So if I could all do that, just drop the questions that you have in the comments below. Would absolutely love to get you on our amazing Keto Club. If you would like to join, just drop Keto Club in the comments. We'll get you on that. And then if you want the tools in my toolbox, the things that I love to stay and remain fat adapted, to stay on the ketogenic diet for longer term. Okay, let me just talk about test strips really fast because it's just coming up now. When you're using keto test strips, is it good or bad for your kidneys? Okay, I don't know where this whole kidney failure nonsense thing is coming. Well, I guess it's coming because people are very afraid of ketoacidosis. I suggest you guys do a lot of research on the difference between ketoacidosis, diabetic ketoacidosis, and the ketogenic diet, a well-formulated ketogenic diet. If you're eating a well-formulated ketogenic diet of meat, veggies, healthy fats, you should, and you stay on that for longer than just 3 days. Like, it takes weeks or months for people to get fat adapted. I'm probably going to take 30 to 45 days to be fat adapted, meaning that my body is going to run on fat for fuel, producing my own ketones while I utilize my own ketones. But it takes a long time. So just because you're like saying that you're in ketosis by peeing on a stick and it shows dark, that doesn't necessarily mean, that doesn't paint the bigger picture, right? So you need to, one, utilize a blood monitor to see how many ketones you actually have in your blood, because when you have blood ketones in your body, you are actually able to, you're utilizing those. When you're peeing, you're just testing what you're peeing or not using. So it's like a car, right? So your body's the car, your ketones are the fuel, you're testing the actual gas with the blood, but if you're peeing it out, you're just testing the exhaust, what's not being used. So stop worrying about that. If you're just starting out on keto, I would suggest you really focus on eating meat, veggies, healthy fats for 30 days and moving your body, and you will never have to pee on a stick. You will never have to prick your blood. You will never have to worry about anything. You're gonna see results, point blank period. Yes, you will see results. But where people go wrong is they overthink it and they think they're doing it wrong. They don't have enough patience. They're not moving their bodies. They're not hydrating. They're not eating a well-formulated ketogenic diet. And notice it's not heavy on dairy. Or crappy foods. So make sure just eat meat, veggies, healthy fats. You will have success. And that's it. All right. I love y'all. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing night. I am off to do some more work and the things. All right, guys. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye.